because he's a bit mental.
Yeah, it's no problem. It's all good. It's all good. How are you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm not bad, thank you. I'm not bad. Just having a day off today, so having a pretty chilled one.
Yeah. That's always good, isn't it? So your last game was Everton, was it?
It was, yeah.
From my fan perspective.
Mhm.
Good couple of goals.
Yeah, much needed, I think.
Yeah. So what first got you into football then?
To be honest, it was my dad. My dad's played football since he was probably my age, and he was pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Got like quite high into like trials at like average teams, but like in that day and age, it was pretty good for him.
Yeah.
He played till he was like late 20s on the left wing. So obviously, I think that's where I get my passion for playing on the left wing from.
Yeah.
But then he kind of had like an issue with his heart, so they basically told him he had to stop playing. But my dad, being my dad, was like, I'm not stopping playing, but I'll go and goal. So he ended up going and goal. And to be fair, he's been pretty good. He only retired a couple of years ago, and he's like 57 now. So he went for a while, but he's definitely where I got my passion for football from.
Yeah, that tends to be the thing, doesn't it? Well, me and my brother, obviously, never played at the level that you played, or playing at, should I say? But yeah, that was forced upon us by my old man. My old man played at quite a decent level.
Yeah.
Back in his days. He was a goalkeeper as well. But me and my brother being only 5'6", there's no chance we were playing in goal. What we said.
Oh, that's great.
So you played over in the States for a little bit.
Yeah. I went to college there when I was 17. I moved over there. I went to Hofstra in New York. Wasn't too sure about it, to be honest. At the start, I was a bit scared. Obviously, it's kind of upping your life, isn't it, and moving away.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm very like home girl, so I love being around my family. I love being at home. But I thought I needed to try it. I needed to do it. I need to do something different, basically. So I went over when I was 17, and the 4 years at college were the best 4 years of my life.
Yeah.
100%. Best 4 years of my life so far, to be honest.
They take it quite seriously over there, don't they, the Yanks, as in women's football?
Yeah. Especially at college, it's actually a lot more serious than people think. Obviously, you get to train and study at the same time.
Yeah.
But you train every day as well as going to school, so you're still like full-time athlete, but you've also got class on top of that.
Yeah, because a few of the different podcasts that I listen to, one of them being The Fire and the Kid, he was a NFL, or trying to be in the NFL. He was an American football player, and he said that the onus on sports is so big that they put everything into it, and then like student comes sort of at the side. Is that sort of happening? You got a dog jumping on you there as well?
This is my little scruff. He's a little scruff.
He is a scruff.
So, yeah, I mean, I got scouted from over here, basically. So one of the girls on my team now, Amy Turner, she used to play at Hofstra, and the coach asked her about me, and basically said, like, he was like, I really wanted to come, like, could you talk to her about coming? And he hadn't watched me play, he hadn't seen anything, but he like very quickly was like, I want you to come. She was like, yeah, like she should go. So it was kind of like off the bat, and I wasn't really prepared for it, but I had a couple of months to pack and get myself ready to go. And it was pretty quick.
Yeah. How did you focus on that then? Like mentally, sort of, because that's a big thing, like, especially at a young age, like uproots and.
I really struggled with it for the first. So I went out for pre-season, which was August, and the pre-season's a month long. So I was away from home in a different country, quite far away, living with girls I didn't know, and training twice a day, like every day for a month, and it was brutal. I mean, I used to go back to my room and I used to cry every day. I used to Skype my dad every night, and I used to say, I want to go home. I need to go home. And my dad said to me, if you can stick it out till Christmas, we'll reevaluate things. And if you want to come home, you can come home. If not, you can stay.
I've got a pretty similar story to that, really, as well. So when I left to join the military, I left when I was 20, and I've never been away from home at all. And I'm from Hereford originally, so we're on the west coast. Literally, I had to travel all the way over to Bury St Edmunds, completely the opposite side of the country, away from everyone I knew, meeting up with new blokes, getting shouted at every day to make sure my kit's all polished, boots are polished, sorry, kit's all cleaned. I remember, excuse me, it must have been, we were coming up to the family's day, which is a month in. And I remember phoning up my brother and my dad, and I was like, I can't do this. I don't want to be shouted at every day.
Yeah.
My dad was like, just stop being a sissy, or along those lines. Stick it out. You've got family's days coming up. You've got a long weekend. And just like your old man said, reevaluate. And to be fair, I did. And it's the best thing I ever did was stick it out. But yeah, I know exactly that feeling of being homesick.
I think you have to just get through the beginning, don't you? If that's the hardest thing I tell people. Like, a lot of young kids ask me, like, how do you get through being homesick? And I'm like, it's something you kind of just have to do. There's not a way to do it. You just have to sit it out, and eventually that feeling kind of leaves, doesn't it? And you feel like you belong somewhere else.
And especially if you've got a good group of people around you that are obviously like-minded. Like for you, for example, you got all the footy players. When I was there, we got lads that joined in to be soldiers.
Yeah.
Having that camaraderie around you helps you. It then becomes your second family, which I think is what you need.
Exactly. And I think if you were there by yourself, it'd be different, wouldn't it? Like, I don't think anyone would go and do it, but like you say, my team became my family, like, very quickly, even though I didn't know any of them.
Yeah, it's a big thing. Trying to find and making new friendships, and that sometimes it can be difficult, especially like yourself, English chick going over to America. They don't really understand our sense of humour at the best of times, so
no,
difficult to break down those barriers.
that was probably the funniest bit for me. Half the time they couldn't understand what I was saying. Most of the time they were just staring at me, and I was just like, right, okay.
Yeah, I know what you mean there. So who have you got coming up next in the league? I did look, but I've completely forgotten.
We've got West Ham on the 22nd, and then we've got Man City on the 28th, which obviously is huge for us as well. Derby Day. Yes,
good for me.
Yeah, me and my dad went to the game, actually.
They went to the game. Oh,
yeah.
But atmosphere, even watching it on the telly, the atmosphere was
sounded.
I think there's been a bit of a turn from what I've noticed. Like, something seems to have clicked in it, and it makes me happy anyway.
Yeah, very happy. And to tell you the truth, I have never been a Man United supporter, but obviously since playing for them, you kind of follow them, don't you? And you support them. And yeah, we went to the game yesterday, and it was unbelievable.
Yeah, it definitely was. Well, the women's team is quite relatively new. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, this is only our second season together.
Yeah, because you got promoted last. Did you win the league last season?
Yeah, we won the championship last year. To be fair, it was pretty easy for us.
Yeah.
We had to start in the division below before we could go up. So we kind of we won that league pretty easy, and then obviously this year it's a different challenge, and it's been very good so far. I think we're currently sitting fourth, which is pretty good.
Yeah. Pretty good, considering like the likes of the Arsenal ladies have always been like the top dogs, haven't they?
Yeah.
From what I know, like my niece follows the Arsenal ladies. She's her team is like one of the sister teams or something.
Okay. Yeah.
So she's really into her football. She's just coming back from quite a bad injury. She's done something to her ankle ligaments, unfortunately, but she loves it. She takes no prisoners. She's a little animal. Bless
Good.
her.
That's what I like.
She absolutely loves it. She finds lots of sports very easy. The fact that she finds them easy, she loses interest. But football, she's just stuck to it. It's brilliant. Like, she played for the girls' team that both me and my brother played for the boys' team when I lived back home. So she's playing for them. Oh, Tupsy Pegasus. even captain the side, just like me and my brother. Brilliant.
Following the family footsteps.
Yeah, family footsteps. But I can't lie. I've been trying to get my my eldest daughter into football, but she doesn't really seem to. She doesn't mind it. She likes playing it. She wears a little United shirt every now and then. So does my youngest. But with my work and things, it's trying to get the time to go and take them out and kick a ball. But she's more into gymnastics at the minute.
It usually goes one way or the other, doesn't it? Like they either want to do gymnastics or they want to do football. They want to do rugby or they want to do ballet. Like it's very.
Yeah. Well, both of them are very good dancers. They both do ballet and things like that.
Yeah.
But the eldest has been bugging me since she was about 6 to get into gymnastics. And down here in Kent, it's so popular that it's difficult to get him onto the team or the scheduling thing or whatever it is. But we've finally got her on it, and she's got her first badge already after a month and things like that. She's going really well. It's really good.
Good.
Well,
I do think that gymnastics are like their mentality are the people who have the strongest heads, because that sport is on another level.
It is. Some of the things that I've seen her doing already, I'm like, geez. Then you look through and they've got the where the main squad are training, and some of them are only about 12, 13. So some of these like girls and a few of the boys. Some of the boys are absolutely ripped. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah. It's mad, isn't it?
It's madness.
Mad.
Yeah, but you're right there. I think all sports, whether it's football, rugby, tennis, hockey, being in part of a team helps. But I think just the physical aspect is really good to get a good mindset and to stay focused on things and keep happy. And it's dealing with the setbacks is a big one. How do you normally deal with setbacks, if you've had any?
To be honest, I've only just come back from injury. So Everton was my first game back after I was out for 4.5 weeks, I think. So for me, it was getting my head right for that game, because obviously I have been out, I hadn't touched the ball, and I think I trained 3 times before the game. Yeah. And it was getting back involved with the girls, getting back on the pitch, kicking a ball for the first time in 4 weeks. Like, as much as like you don't think you lose it, you don't lose it, but you become a bit rusty.
Yeah.
You've got to get your touch back, you've got to get certain things back of the game. And to be fair, I thought I did it pretty quick, because obviously in the Everton game I played pretty well. So I was happy with the outcome, because obviously it could have gone one way or the other.
Yeah. Well, I had a little look-see through the highlights just before I started the call with you. And yeah, so some decent touches there. And that first goal, hell of a finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, Giggsy style, right to the top. Finish, goal scorer.
But I think with setbacks for me, it's like especially when you're injured. I've had a few injuries, but not loads and not really bad ones, as in like they've been out for like months and months and months. I think the most I've ever been out is I was out for 4 months when I did my back in America, but that was just a whole different lifestyle and everything. But here it's very much, you've got a lot of support. You've got a lot of connections. The girls get behind you. You still got to do your workouts in the gym. If you can't use your legs, you've got to use your upper body. You know, if you can't run, you can bike. There's always something you can do to keep going and keep mentally in the game.
Having a club that's the size of Manchester United behind you as well, that's going to help
massively. Our connections and our support work is fantastic. I've never been in a club that has that much support and network. We've got like nutritionists that help you with your nutrition when you're out injured. They know exactly what not to eat and what to eat more of. The coaches get behind you. You've got you've got 1-2 physios. You've got doctors. You've got everybody you possibly need. We've even got like a psychological woman that comes in.
Brilliant.
And you can have meetings with her if you need to talk about whatever's bothering you, which is really, really good.
It seems. I always wondered why United didn't have a women's team for ages. I'd always look every now and then at the table. It's like, why isn't there a United women's team?
I know. It's mad that they never had one, but now they do.
Yeah, Championship's coming your way soon.
Yeah, I would hope so. That'd be. I mean, I want to eventually get to the Champions League, obviously, with United, which would be huge. So hopefully, in a couple of years, we can definitely get there.
Yeah. Did you Did you play in Germany? I saw that you were on the books for Bayern. But it was Bayern, wasn't it?
Bayern Munich, yeah.
Yeah.
Another unbelievable club. I mean, their facilities and their team, they were really good people. I struggled with the language.
Yeah, I was going to say, how did you cope with the language barrier?
I really, really struggled with it. That's why, kind of part reason why I ended up coming home and not staying out there for very long. Like I said, the girls and the coach and staff were unbelievable, but it was too big a thing for me. I couldn't express myself really. I couldn't, be who I am. I had to kind of break it down for them to understand. And I also struggled on the pitch because everything they spoke was in German.
Yeah, cool.
So,
cool. Yeah.
The first 2 weeks I was just like, I really don't know what's going on.
I did always wonder that, because to be fair, you're the first professional football player I've ever spoken to. But when it comes to going overseas to play for these other countries, how hard is it to pick up another language? Because I tried at school to learn French and things like that, it just didn't work. So,
hard, isn't it?
Yeah, and even to the extent when we're getting ready to go on tour with the military, we have to try and learn Arabic and things like that. It's like I can't. I can say hello about it, so God knows what it's like when they're trying to pass a ball to you.
When I obviously you get to know people in in football, and I know a lot of girls that have gone abroad or have gone to other countries and they pick up the language and they've studied it and they're picking it up and they're sticking at it, and I credit them massively. And that's something that's to me is harder than adjusting to the football out there, because you pick up the football after a couple of weeks, but for them to sit there and maintain learning a language every day and making sure they do to be able to stay out there, props to them, because I couldn't do it. I struggled with
it. 100% on that one, because I definitely couldn't. I struggle with English, let alone another language. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, what's in the pipeline for the future? More, obviously, you want to be striving to get better within United, and eventually win the league and Champions League. Is there any other sort of goals you got in mind?
I just want to. Sorry, 1 second. My dog's just chewing something.
No problem.
I kind of want to. I want to better myself to better the club, as much as obviously that comes part and parcel. I need to stay fit. I need to get fitter. I need to be in the gym more. I have a lot of things that I want to do to better myself for the club, to give them a best chance of playing me. Because obviously, you don't take it for granted. Obviously starting, you never know if you're going to start.
Yeah.
So you have to you're continuously being pushed by everyone. We've got great players on our team. You have to perform in training, otherwise you don't get the starting position.
Exactly.
Obviously, everyone wants to start. If you don't start and you're a game changer, also you got to come on and make an impact, which is one of the hardest things I think I've ever had to do.
Coming off the bench.
Last year I came off the bench quite a lot.
That's a skill in itself.
Yeah, I think that is sometimes harder than starting a game.
Yeah, definitely.
Mentally, because you have to come on and you have to be straight into the tempo, straight into the challenges, straight into everything.
Yeah, 100% on that. Yeah. I had a similar sort of thing when I was playing. I used to play basketball at a high level. I know being only 5'6" is quite hard to believe. But I was always in the teams that I played in. I was always the main guy. I was always the ball handler. And then eventually, my coach was like, "No, I would like you to become more of an impact player. So come off the bench and try." And I was like, "Hey," and then I had to try and switch on how to play. I know basketball's a lot different to football in that aspect, but trying to pick up the pace of the game because it's so fast, and then coming off the bench not quite ready, and it's just such a difficult task to do. Rugby was the same as well. I played rugby at school. It was like coming off the bench, like, oh, this is a different speed. Whack.
I think that as much as all sports are so different, there's some aspects that are exactly the same. Anyone coming on to a game in any sport is going to be difficult. It's going to be challenging, but that's where I think athletes and stuff, people don't see that side. They just think, a lot of people say to me, oh, you get to do what you love every day. Like, you just get to run around on the pitch and kick a ball. And I'm like, yeah, but it's a lot more than that.
Yeah, it is. I think a lot of people don't realise all the hard work that football athletes go through to be at that level. It's like me and my brother were discussing the other day, because we've got a charity football match coming up in July against Spurs legends.
Okay.
Me and my brother at a semi-decent level. There's a few other players that played at a semi-decent level. And then we got a few lads that just wanted to play.
Yeah.
Basically never played 11-a-side football properly before. And we're like, you do realise we're playing former professionals, that you can't take this lightly. But yeah, they might not be as fit as us now, but there's movements and way they play the ball is going to be, you're going to be running around in circles, basically.
Yeah.
But people don't understand the why you guys are at that level compared to everybody else that plays on a Sunday league or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a lot of sacrifice and a lot of hard work and dedication, which I take my hat off to you for that, for the hard work that you're putting in. And what have you. And then you get players that are on the next level, like Ronaldo, who is just a freak athlete.
Madness. He's unbelievable.
Great on his feet, just so his legs go quicker. It's mad.
I actually had the conversation today about commitment and stuff with someone. I can't remember who it was, but we were talking because when we get like we get 2 days off a week, so we get like a recovery day after a game, and then midweek we get a day off between training. And like, as much as most people would be like, oh, you get 2 days off a week, that's good. It is good. But like, I don't think most people understand that on them 2 days, like, you can't really do anything because you're recovering. So you can't go out and go party on the weekend because you're recovering. You know, you can't like, people kind of think, oh, you got days. We're not really meant to do anything that's tiring because you're meant to be recovering for training the next day.
Yeah, it's a completely different ball game, pardon the pun, than what it was. Like, obviously, previous in like the 80s, 90s, it was all very much a drinking culture, wasn't it? Still, it wasn't until the I hate saying noughties. It just sounds stupid. It wasn't until the noughties that it all seemed to take a swift change, where it was like, no, you're an athlete. You can't be going out on the piss.
Exactly. And I think we have limitations, but then when I look at like Premier League players, like, they play Boxing Day, they can't have a drink on Christmas Day. You know, they play New Year's, they can't go out for New Year's. Like, they have to sacrifice so much. Like, I think I sacrifice a lot, and I think our team sacrifices a lot. But when you look at like Premier League and Championship, they sacrifice even more.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of people take it for granted as well when they see some players, like when I think it was Rio sent a tweet out once, think of us when you're out partying because we've got a game tomorrow or something. And then that was like, you know, you're going to get a little bit of backlash on that one, Rio, because of the amount of money that you're making. But I've always argued for football players in that aspect. And they say, oh, but they get paid too much, blah, 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 blah. And then you go, hang on a minute, but I couldn't sell out Old Trafford to watch me play football. So
exactly. Yeah.
They're getting paid that much because people are coming to watch them play.
Yeah.
You're paying for them, basically, for buying the kits, going to see the game, all the other stuff. So stop moaning about it and just let them play.
We had a woman come in from Mamma Mia. She's the lead like actor in Mamma Mia. And she came in, and it was really interesting. They've done a little documentary on it, and basically she came into our work for the day and like looked at what we did, and then our head coach went to her work for the day and went to like see what she did. And as much as they're completely different, that it was crazy because she said, what did she say at the end? She was like, we are basically the entertainment for the rest of the world. So like, you've got your work goers who go to work and do their thing, but when they're off, we're at work. So on the weekend, when they're off, that's our time to work, and that's our time to perform.
Exactly. And it's not, like you said, you have your 2 rest periods. It's the same as everybody else.
Yeah.
And it is, and this comes up to the point with the all the abuse that football players get on game day. Yeah, you're going to get some of the banter that comes through, the cheers and jeers, but when it goes to that next level and they're starting to be abusive, it's like, you don't come to my work and start having a go at me.
Exactly.
And I was listening to Talk Sport, I think it was, and they were talking about it, about the Eric Dyer thing where he ran up the steps.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, well, he shouldn't have done that. He's a football player. It's like, well, if you found out that someone was having a go at your family, you'd probably do the same.
Exactly.
Or it's just.
I think it's just like we're always told. Obviously, we have to be very careful. What even like, and I know women's football is not yet as big as it's gonna be, and definitely not as big as the men's. But we have to be careful with like Instagram. We have to be careful what we post, what we say, what we retweet, what we like, everything, because there's always somebody watching.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it now? And you could sort of see how they got away with it back in the day with some of the things that they said and did, because obviously there was no social media about. But now, yeah, as soon as you click on the wrong thing, it's yeah, you're in the shit if it's wrong.
Your head's gone.
You know what I mean? It's like my brother. We always have a standing joke, because we've every now and then we'll have a few topics that are a bit close to the mark. It's usually around like transgenders in sports and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you're trying to get me kicked off YouTube here, like jokingly. But it's like there's so many little tripwires about. It's difficult, especially when, like, for myself doing a podcast. I tend not to have a filter, and it sometimes gets me in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you have to really try and think about what you're saying, and it's a bit like when I sent out the email to your management, and they sent me back, oh, could you send us the list of questions you're going to send? And I'm like, oh, that's a first. I've never had to. So obviously, I haven't had anyone as high profile as a Man United player before, so it's like, oh shit, what sort of questions? But yeah, and I
like we get a lot of like interesting people that ask like very like odd questions, and just as like protects them for us and whatever, they just have to know like what we say.
Yeah, I totally understood it, and I was like, I sort of put on there, totally understand. It's usually just a chat that we have. I don't usually have a set number of questions, but I'll probably bring up these sorts of topics, and they were like, oh yeah, that'll be fine. But thank fuck for that. Yeah, don't worry about swearing and things like that. That's fine. But it's mad how you get some people that you try and get on this show, and the amount of people that just either ignore it or what have you. Or I've had a few that haven't even bothered. They've set in a schedule, and it's like, yeah, cool. So I've laid out my time. I get in my shedio. So I'm in the shed at the minute. This is where I'm recording. Okay. And I'm ready to go, and then I'll get, oh, sorry, I can't make it now. It's like, oh, or they don't even send anything. They don't even reply or anything, and I'm just sat here going, oh, brilliant.
Oh wow.
So just a quick one on that. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
No problem. Thanks for having me. It's the first podcast I've ever done, so this is
good. Good for both of us.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you played for Leeds.
I did, yes, when I was 14.
Fair play. So, that's a big step from Leeds to United, you know, a small club to a big club.
Yeah. Huge. Obviously, at that point, I didn't know where I wanted to go with my career. Like, a lot of people were telling me, oh, women's football's not big enough, you don't make enough money, you need to find a job, blah, blah, blah. And I always thought, like, no, it's going to get there. Like, one day I'll be able to make enough money to live. So obviously I was at Leeds then, and I was just playing for the whole academy. I went through the academy, and then I went to the women's first team, and I was there till I went to America when I was 17.
It's a hell of a journey you've been through, really, and that, like you said then, oh, there's no money in women's football and things like that. There's been so many sports where they've said that. I'll take, for example, the UFC for that one, because I've had a UFC women's title contender on the show a few months back, and they said the same. Like, you'll never have women's fighters in the UFC. It's never going to happen. And now all of a sudden they're headlining pay-per-view events and things like that.
Which is amazing to see.
Yeah, when people say that you'll never make a living as a women's footballer, it's obviously going to go on the rise. You know how big it is in America is a huge thing anyway. It's crazy how much they actually enjoy the soccer over there.
Yeah, definitely soccer. You got to
definitely the change in it over here as well, especially the last was it the World Cup? I think the Women's World Cup was watched by millions, and it was like it's starting to compete now, viewing wise. It's just trying to get the regular matches watched by people, I think.
And it's good because a lot of our league games are now being televised, which is great for us and great for the league. I think our Man City game on the 28th was meant to be on the Sunday, but now it's on the Saturday because it's getting televised, which is unbelievable for us.
Brilliant. I'll make sure I watch that.
No, you have to.
I'm gonna have to now.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair though, I have been following the women's team just as soon as you guys appeared last season? It was last season, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Championship. Yeah, as soon as that appeared up on the old Instagram, I was like, oh, fucking finally.
Yeah, finally.
And then I've been making sure I at least catch the highlights of it. And it's on the up. It's good. It's good.
It is, and I can tell you something. The girls of this team, unbelievable. I don't think I've ever been in as much as a close-knit team as we are at Manchester United.
Yeah, that's got to be a huge thing for having such high morale and being as skilled as you guys are. It's just only going to encourage more success.
Exactly. And obviously, as a team, you always have your ups and downs, don't you? Like, we had a bit of a bad patch recently. Not bad, but not our best patch. And we were up and down with results, and things weren't going our way. But, that's when you have to stick together. That's when you have to be the tightest team you've ever been, because it starts to break people if not. Yeah,
definitely. And you sort of see that with the United first team when the results weren't going quite right, and the wheels seem to be falling off, and then all of a sudden we get a couple of you get Bruno in, and it all seems to be clicking back into place now. And then 10 games in and unbeaten it's like everyone was saying there was some sort of big dramas with United because we're in a transition phase, and that goes for the women's team as well. If you think about it, being so new, you're still transitioning into the ways of the top league, and getting through it all. Hats off to you lot, because you're smashing through it, and being fourth in your second season, just amazing, I think.
We're definitely getting somewhere. I think that obviously this year we didn't know what this league was like. I'm still learning every day how some of my teammates play. Like, you have to create bonds with them, you have to form relationships with them on and off the pitch. That's not easy to do, and that takes time. You can't just do that overnight. That takes a lot of time. So I think the more time we are connected together and we are as a unit, and not as many players go in and out. Obviously, you get new players to freshen up places, and people do leave and stuff, but that's also challenging. When someone leaves and someone new comes in, you have to then connect with them. You have to work with them, see how they play. It's constantly a bit of a head game, but a good one because it's challenging.
Yeah. And I suppose having new players that are coming in, people coming up through youth setups and things like that, keeps the first team on their toes, doesn't it? So you've got a challenge to maintain your position, which having that challenge will make you better players anyway. And the fact that you're playing against really decent opposition as well, it's just going to keep getting better and better, I think. Hopefully. All the trophies.
Let's do it all.
Do it all. We're the first team to win the treble.
That'd be the day. That might happen, you know. I have a good faith in that happening, to be fair.
Yeah, it's always good to see Liverpool down at the bottom as well, down at the bottom of your league.
Do you not like Liverpool?
No. I've got nothing against the women's team, just the men's team. So, what are the rest of the plans for your day? Is it a day off, or have you got more training? What have you got today?
Day off today. We're back in tomorrow, so just gonna go walk the dog. Gonna do my bits and bobs. Chill out, really.
Yeah, make the most of the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good, mate. That sounds really good.
Yep.
I got school run to do in a bit, which will be fun.
We love a good school run.
Yeah. Yeah. And then just cook dinner and that. That's me for the rest of the day. Make sure the eldest is all right. She's not feeling too good. Bless her. I'm surprised she hasn't put. She's upstairs at the minute. She's not, like I said, she's not feeling well. Every now and then she pops out and like pops her head in. So, what are you doing, Daddy?
Oh.
I thought she might have done it, but she's obviously just chilling. Bless her. I'll let her know that I was talking to a professional women's player and see what she says. Might give her the itch. You'll give her the itch. You'll go, let's go kick a ball. Like,
oh.
Get your boots on.
Bless her.
Yeah, we have taken her down the park with one of my close mates. His boy likes playing football, obviously, like most boys do. But she doesn't like playing against him because he's a bit too rough. Bless him.
Get her elbows out.
Yeah, I was saying that. I was like, come on, you're my daughter. You should be 2-footing them. But yeah, when I go back home, I should be hopefully get to watch one of my niece's games because I went to see her practice a few months back, and she is a decent player. And I believe that the team that she plays for is like I said, one of the sister clubs for Arsenal. So fingers crossed she gets picked up at some point.
That would be good.
I'll put her name towards you, and you can send the scouts out from United.
I wish I had the power to do that.
One day.
One day, maybe. You never know.
What about management? Would you ever go into management when you've come to the end?
You know, obviously, I'm getting on a bit now. Like, I've got to start thinking about what I'm going to do. But I personally don't enjoy the coaching aspect to football because I just want to go on the pitch and play. I wouldn't want to stand there and tell people what to do. I just want to do it. Yeah. So, I mean, I've done it for youth teams and younger kids, which is always nice because it's nice to see them progress and them get better. But I don't think I could do that as a job.
It's a special niche, isn't it, being a coach?
100%, yeah.
Because I've tried coaching a few different sports. Obviously, I used to coach basketball quite often, and I used to find it very frustrating. Even though I shouldn't, because they're younger kids, it's like, well, why can't you do it?
Yeah.
This is how you do it. Why can't you do it? No, I just don't really have the patience for it, unfortunately. I've never been one for patience.
And I think that's probably the main thing you need when you're a coach, isn't it?
Oh, and yeah, definitely. Definitely. All right, dude. Short and sweet, but I might have to dash because I've got to do all these school run stuff and make sure the eldest is all right in the house.
Yep. Well, you let me know like when this goes out, and I'll put it on my social media and stuff so people can listen.
100%. I'll get that. I'll get that over to you straight away.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, because what I got to do is I have to save the Skype call, and then that goes onto the other platform that goes to iTunes and all that. It's a pain in the ass. I need to find a better way of getting it on, but we're all still learning. We're only a year old. We're still learning.
Yeah, just let us know. That'll be good. It'll be good to listen to.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much for coming on.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. And I'll catch you again soon.
All right, perfect.
Cheers, buddy.
See you later. Bye.